Building reliable process models. Part 3. Introduction to BPMN2 shapes. Today it's events with me, Declan Cheller. This tutorial is aimed at people who are new to process modeling and experienced process modelers who want to take a more structured approach. But first, some symbols. Instructions are indicated by this graphic, handy tips by this one, warnings by this one, quotes from the BPMN 2.0 specification by this one, and pop quiz questions by this one. This video is a short introduction to the meaning of the basic event shapes, but it's not an exhaustive tutorial on how to use them. What is an event? An event is something that happens during the course of a process. BPMN has restricted the use of events to include only those types of events that will affect the sequence or timing of activities of a process. The ability to model a variety of event types is one of the key things that makes BPMN a powerful language for articulating process complexity. Start events. A start event represents an occurrence that triggers a process. A start event is represented by a circle with a single thin border. Label the start event to make the trigger explicit. What is a bad label for a start event? Pause the video if you need to think about it. Start is a bad label for a start event because it provides no understanding of the nature of the business trigger. These are all good start event labels because they specify the trigger. The three basic types of start event in BPMN 2.0 are: none. A human decides to start the process for no identified reason. Message. The process starts when a message is received from another pool. Remember, a message is not necessarily a letter or an email. It represents nothing more than an interaction between two pools. Timer. The process is triggered when a specific time, day, date is reached or a specific period has elapsed. Processes must have at least one end event, which indicates not just that the process ends, but also the outcome of the process. An end event is represented by a single thick border. End events should be labeled to provide information about the outcome of the process. What is a bad label for an end event? Pause the video if you need to think about it. End is a bad label for an end event because it provides no understanding of the outcome of the process. These are all good end event labels because they specify the outcome. The three basic types of end event in BPMN 2.0 are: none, throws no signal at the end. Message. The process throws a message signal to another pool. Terminate. All active paths at the same process level are aborted. All possible start events and all possible end events must be shown in the process pool at the top level of your model. In hierarchical modeling, this allows you to navigate the entire process at the highest level without needing to know the details. Intermediate events. The intermediate event indicates where something happens, an event, somewhere between the start and end of a process. It will affect the flow of the process, but will not start or directly terminate the process. Intermediate events show that a process is paused until the event occurs. An intermediate event is represented by a circle with a double thin border. Catching events. A catching event is one that receives a signal. It is denoted by a markup that is not colored in. Throwing events. A throwing event is one that sends a signal. It is denoted by a markup that is colored in. Boundary events. A boundary event represents something which occurs during the course of a particular activity. It's displayed on the boundary of the affected activity, thus defining its scope. Interrupting events. An interrupting event cancels the affected activity. In other words, when the event occurs, you do something else instead. Interrupting events are denoted by a solid circle. Non-interrupting events. A non-interrupting event does not cancel the affected activity. In other words, when the event occurs, you do something else as well. Non-interrupting events are denoted by a broken circle. Let's recap those definitions. Let's go over the shapes again briefly, but I want you to tell me what each one means. Speak out loud and keep it simple. What is an event? What is a start event? What are the three basic types of start event? What is an end event? What are the three basic types of end event? What is an intermediate event? What is a boundary event? What is a catching event? What is a throwing event? What is an interrupting event? What is a non-interrupting event? What's next? In my next video, I shall cover activities. Watch out for my other tutorials on such topics as structured approach to building a process model, when to model decision logic instead of process logic, introduction to modeling business concepts. If you found this tutorial useful, please click like and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you.